شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So you're welcome to our program, Premium Ramadan Spirit, right, in which we shall be looking at some verses, some selected verses of the Quran Kareem, in order for us to, to have this fruitful Ramadan, at least to put ourselves in the mood of spirituality and rejuvenate our souls, like we promised yesterday. So inshallah, we shall be looking at the first verse, the first chapter that we'll be looking at, or let me say the first few verses that we're going to be looking at today is Surah Al-baqarah. Surah Al-baqarah, it's a familiar chapter of Al-Quran Kareem that we all know. Surah Al-baqarah, the first 5 verses of Surah Al-baqarah, basically. So inshallah, the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to read it, and then we're going to go into the exegesis. May Allah make it easy for each and every one of us. So just get a copy of Quran and then you can follow up. It's part of the dirasa. You learn, you read, and you amplify. Okay, so we are taking it from the first stage, which is reading, and then going to the exegesis proper, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Now, Alif Lam Mim. Alif Lam Mim. These are what scholar knows. What is known among the scholars as al-hurufu al-muqatta'a. Al-hurufu al-muqatta'a. Separated letters. Separated letters. All right. So there has been a lot of attempts, by scholars since the time of the companions to actually give the exegesis or the meaning of this, but the most pronounced opinion is that they are separated letters and only Allah knows their meaning. Okay, you can find it in Surah Al-baqarah, you find it in Surah Al-Taha, all right, Surah Al-Shu'ara, Tasin, all right, Alif Lam Ra, all right, Alif Lam Mim, Qaf, Yasin. Okay, so these are some of those letters that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows their meaning. All right, so let's just leave it at that. All right. ذلك الكتاب. ذلك الكتاب. ذلك اسم الإشارة. Okay, اسم الإشارة. It points at something. All right. للقريب أو للبعيد. هذا وهذه ذلك وتلك. All right. For those of us that are familiar with the Arabic language, so it's a word with which you point at something. ذلك الكتاب. All right. This is the book. Al-Kitab huna bimana al-Quran. Now, there are two meanings which we can give to this. ذلك الكتاب. Part of which is that ذلك means that it is referring back to Alif Lam Mim. There's a category of scholars that said that ذلك is referring back to Alif Lam Mim. All right. And they saw an authority in the Quran, all right, a usage of which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about the Bani Israel, and when he ordered them to slaughter the cow, and they said that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam should go back to Allah and ask, some questions which we should not be doing as Muslims. Then Allah said, لا فارض ولا بكر عوان بين ذلك فافعلوا ما تؤمرون. La faridun, the cow I'm asking you to slaughter must not be too old. Wala bikrun, it must not be too young. Bayna dhalika, it must be in between the two. In between what? Not too old and not too young. Okay, you can see that dhalika is going back to the previous statement of Allah. That is, la faridun wala bikrun. Awanun bayna dhalika, bayna the two. That is bayna, between, in between old and young. So that is it. That's an opinion. All right. Dhalika al-kitab. Some section of scholars says that dhalika al-kitab means it is referring to the Quran. Dhalika, that is this Quran. All right. Dhalika al-kitab. Let us quickly note something here. For those of us that said that, some people used to claim that, they said that the Quran, the companions, bringing the Quran together and, making it into a mushaf like this, that it's some form of innovation. This is Al-Quran Karim speaking. Allah said, as at the time when this verse was revealed, the Quran was not yet in the booklet like this. So that tells you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that in the end, it will eventually become a booklet like this. So it is not possible, it is not reasonable to say that the companions, they committed innovation in that regard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referred to the Quran as what? Kitab. What is kitab? A book. Dhalikal kitab. This is a book. Some section of scholars also say that Dhalikal kitab means the books before the Quran. That is the Zabur, the Injil, the Torah. But this is a very weak opinion. Dhalikal kitab. This is a book. That is Al-Quran. La rayba fihi. Ay la tuhuma fihi wa la shakku fihi. That is one interpretation. What is shakku? Doubt. What is tuhuma? Suspicion. So it means that in this book, we have two interpretations to give this. Is either you say that, which is correct, both are correct. The first one is, there is no doubt in this book. That is, there's no doubt about this book. All right. And the second opinion is that there's nothing in this book that is doubtful. There's nothing in the book that is doubtful. The first one is there's no doubt about the book in and of itself. While the second is there is no doubtful matter in the book. All right. So, dhalikal kitab la rayba fihi. There's no doubt in the book. All right. Now, one thing that I want us to understand is that the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that there's no book in this, there's no doubt in the book, is to show that for whoever reflects on it and ponders on it, the person will not find any kind of discrepancy in it. Okay, this is consistent with the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in another place where Allah said, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ. Have you not reflected on the Quran? وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ. If it was to come from other than Allah, لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. You would see so many discrepancies in it. All right. So this confirms that the book is not a book that you can doubt. All right. It's from the word Tanzilun min Rabbil Alamin. It's from the Lord of the worlds. Okay, the one that knows the future, the past, and everything. And if you check the Quran, basically, you would see mathematical miracles of the Quran. You would see scientific miracles of the Quran and what have you. Okay, it talks about the past, the present, and the future. All right. And one miracle, one very peculiar thing about the Quran is that it is the time that interprets the Quran. As events come up, there are so many verses in the Quran that we might not even know the meanings, the deep meanings now. When those things start to occur, then you realize that we have authorities in the Quran. All right. So this is it. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Again, there is no doubt in it. There is no suspicion in it. Compared to other books of metaphysics, other books of philosophy, other books of religious books that are based on human intellect. Let me give you an example, a very perfect one. There's a particular philosopher known as René Descartes. René Descartes, I think he existed during the Renaissance period. I think so, or the medieval period. All right. He has a book called The Sphere of the Doubtful. The Sphere of the Doubtful. And in the Sphere of the Doubtful, you have the 7 meditations René Descartes had. Meditation 1, 2, up to 7. All right. And the summary of the whole meditation is that, okay, fine, he got to a stage and started thinking that the basis of my epistemic conceptualizations, like the epistemic basis of the knowledge of René Descartes, was based on what? Skepticism, doubt. He said that the senses are deceiving him, that everything he had known, examples of, when you put the roller, when you put it in the water, then it appears bent, and when you take it out, it's straight. All right, that's perceptual error, right? Isn't it? Okay, when you're moving on in the afternoon, hot afternoon, and then you think there is water out there, and then you get there and you realize that it's a mirage. Okay, so he said that he has to destroy and rebuild, that everything he had known was through his senses. And no, the senses are deceiving me. All right. Now, let me tell you another thing about these philosophers. They can be very smart, right? But they cannot they cannot outsmart the divine revelation, right? And as much as you are, giving your time and studying, I'm not saying this for you to accept or not. I'm just trying to use that to to buttress the position of Al-Quran Karim, that La rayba fihi. In this book, there is no doubt. René Descartes, while he was doing his meditation, right, he said that a stylish way of accepting or affirming the existence of God, because I said during that time, it was the time when the church and the political authority and the religious this thing was fused. Religious responsibility was fused in the church. All right, the two were fixed in the church, and that is when you have someone like Aquinas, Thomas Aquinas. All right, I think Descartes also existed within that time. So if you say anything blasphemous about the church or about God and what have you, of course, that's a capital punishment. So in a way in an attempt to escape that punishment, he said that, yes, everything I know is for sure that I think, therefore I exist. Okay, cogito ergo sum. That's a dictum. All right. He said that I think, therefore I exist. That even if I doubt everything, I will affirm one thing: I think, therefore I exist. So that means I'm in existence. Okay. And he said that I know that God cannot be deceiving me. There must be an evil genius somewhere. Okay, you can see the affirmation, the smart way by which he's saying that, okay, God exists, and then the devil is also existing. That's it. All right, in order to escape the punishment of the church. So what am I saying in essence? That books of philosophy, metaphysics, epistemology, and what have you, all right, perceptual error and what have you, all these theories that philosophers and and what have you come up with in order to justify their position and make you feel like, yes, they are so smart and everything. Okay, within their own theories, they have discrepancies. They are not sure about their own theories. But this book is quite different from that. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Everything about this book is certain. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And I said, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It is a source of guidance for the muttaqin. هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ هَيْ نُورٌ لَهُمْ. It is a source of light for them. And what does light do? It illuminates, it guides. All right. Now cast your mind back to the verse that we recited yesterday with regards to what the Quran has come to do. Hudan lil muttaqin. It also means that it has come to explain everything. Guidance. Guide them this way and this way and this way on every subject matter, on everything that affects their life. Hudan lil muttaqin. And that is consistent with the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where Allah said, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان هدى للمتقين. It is a source of guidance for men, and it's also what? It's also a source of illumination for them. هدى للمتقين. من هم المتقين? Who are the muttaqun? Those that fear shirk. Hudan lil muttaqin, those that fear the punishment of Allah and fulfill the obligations. Hudan lil muttaqin, those that fear prohibited actions. That's it. Hudan lil muttaqin. So that tells you that those that will benefit from it are those that have what? That are the muttaqun. So that tells you that if you are in the state of doubt, something that you are doubtful about cannot benefit you. So the first thing is that you have to be one of the muttaqun before this Quran can be what? Can be useful for you, or you can benefit from it. Wa illa, if that is not the case, then I'm sorry, there's something seriously wrong. Now, before we move on, let me point out something. Allah said, La rayba fihi. There's no doubt in this book. Why do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about doubt in this particular ayah, at this particular stage? It is because of what is about to follow it, which is what? The description of Iman. Those that are the muttaqun, the kind of Iman that is going to be in them. So that tells you that yaqeen, which is the opposite of shakku, or roibu, all right? Because shakku is doubt, all right? Roib is doubt, tuhuma, doubt, suspicion. And the opposite of it is what? Yaqeen, certainty. So that tells you that your Iman, to be one of the muttaqun, there must be something that is sacrosanct. There must be something that is imperative, that is ingredient, integral rather, in your Iman. Without it, your Iman is defective and weak. So it's a necessary condition for your Iman to stand, which is what? Yaqeen. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is continuing and saying that lil muttaqin, for those that are the muttaqun, the pious ones. Now anybody can claim, I'm pious. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now wants to narrow it down. Don't mind that. Oh, anybody can say anything, but those that are muttaqun, let me explain them for you. Okay, and this is what is meant by a principle in the Quran, which is al-Quran yufassiru ba'dahu ba'dahu. Some section of the Quran explains the other section. If you don't understand the muttaqun, let me explain it for you. That's the meaning. Another thing that you pay attention to is this. Whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says al-ladhina, it means those. It's a description of some people. So if you want to be among those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, then pay attention to these qualities about them. Al-ladhina. If you want to be among the muttaqun, pay attention to the following qualities. Al-ladhina yu'minuna bil-ghayb. These are the set of people that believes in the unseen. They believe in the unseen. Right? They believe in the unseen. Al-iman mutlaqa. Lugatan. Literally speaking, when you talk about iman, it means to believe, to accept something truthfully and act by it. To accept truthfully and act by it. That's it. Okay. In Surah to Yusuf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used it. When Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, he went out with his brother and they did what they did. And then, they came back to the father, Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, and then they were saying, Wama anta bi mu'minin lana walau kuna sadiqin. We know you will not believe us. Mu'minin lana walau kuna sadiqin. That is iman. That is, you will not have believed in us. We know that. So that's a literal usage. Okay, mutlaqa, when you say iman, okay, it means to believe and hold truthfully to something and act by it. So alladhina yu'minuna bil ghayb. These are the set of people that do not only believe sincerely, or do not hold truthfully some sort of belief system like which they've come in contact with about the unseen, but they also act by it. That's it. Alladhina yu'minuna bil ghayb. Another interpretation that you can give to it is this. Alladhina yu'minuna bil ghayb. It means those that have the fear, that have the awe, the khushu of Allah bil ghayb, in the secret and in the open. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Mulk, Surah Al-Mulk, Allah said, Alladhina yakhshawna rabbahum bil ghayb. Those are the set of people that believe in Allah and the unseen. Okay, that's another description, right? Like I said the other time, Alladhina means a description, all right? It is either a description of some set of people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be part of them, or a description of some set of people which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala condemned. Alladhina yakhshawna rabbahum bil ghayb, like I said, all right? Alladhina yakhshawna rabbahum bil ghayb, as in Surah Al-Mulk. Wa yuqimuna as-salat, and these are the set of people that establish the prayer. Wa yuqimuna as-salah, they establish the salah. What is meant by establishing the salah? There are a number of interpretations that you can give to this. One of such is alladhina itmamu ruku' والسجود والتلاوة والخشوع فيها. That's it. They are the ones that complete, they perfect their ruku', they perfect their sujud, and they perfect their what? They perfect their qira'ah, as well as have tranquility in their salat. That's it. Okay, so here I would like to mention something that some of us, we might be oblivious of the fact that maybe we've been praying in a particular way, but then it seems as if our salah is not, very, is not one that is strong, or is one that is how do I put it? That is healthy. Don't put it that way. Healthy, yeah, healthy. That's the correct word. So that tells you that you might be doing something, and then you think you're doing it correctly, but yet you're not. You're not doing fine in it. Let me give us an hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and from this hadith you see a particular principle. There's a man came into the masjid, came to offer the salah, and he did everything that we usually do in salah. Okay, the ruku, the sujood, and everything. And then the Prophet sallallahu called him back and said, "Irji', come back. Fasalli fa innaka lam tusalli. Go back, go and pray because you have not prayed." Please just pay attention to the wordings of the hadith. Go back, go and pray because you have not prayed. The guy was like, okay, he went back. He did it the second time. The Prophet ﷺ repeated the same thing. He did it the third time. The Prophet ﷺ repeated the same thing. And that was when he now got closer to the Prophet and said, please, if you ask me to go back 1,000,000 times, this is how I'm going to perform in that salah. I don't know how to do it more than this. Just listen. Go back. Go and pray because you have not prayed. And despite the fact that the person does everything that we normally do in salah. So that tells you that you might be doing something and that thing might not be as required. There's a fundamental principle that we can deduce from this, which the scholars have come up with this hadith and several other hadiths like this. It is the principle of bara'atu dhimma. The principle of what? Bara'atu dhimma. That is, that responsibility should be taken off you. Once you do something, a particular act of worship or good deeds, the way and manner in which Allah and His Messenger wanted it, then the matuhu bari'at. Whoever does it that way, such responsibility has been taken off the person. Whoever does not do it the particular way which Allah and His Messenger wants it, the matuhu mashgula. The responsibility is still on his neck. He will think he has done it, but he hasn't done it. That is the principle that we found in that particular hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Then the Prophet ﷺ now taught the person. Okay, now compare what I'm about to say with the way you and I will be performing our salah, and see if our salah is healthy or not. The Prophet ﷺ said, once you enter, you do your wudu and everything, you say Allahu Akbar normally. Okay, read whatever it is that is easy for you in the Quran. Yes, read it. Then he said, this is where I'm going. This is where the person missed it out. He said, then go to ruku'. Hatta tatma'inna raki'a. Then you feel the tranquility in ruku'. That is, you stay there and enjoy it very well. That's it. Unlike you and me. Then the Prophet said again, then you come from ruku'. Okay, you rise up. Hatta ta'adilu qa'iman, till you stand straight like one. Like figure one. That everybody will know that this person has stood straight. Not that you go to ruku, then you quickly go to sujud. Then the Prophet said, masjud, then you go to your sujud. Hatta tatma'ina sajida. You will enjoy that sajida very well, that prostration. Okay. Masjlis, then you sit down. Okay. Hatta tatma'ina jalisa, you sit down very well. Okay. Then the Prophet said, wafal dhalika bi kulli salah. Do like this in all of your salah. This is where we got the principle of what? Bara'atu dhimma. Responsibility. Taken off your neck because you did it exactly or in accordance to the way the Prophet ﷺ and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants it to be done. So that is it. Wa yuqimuna as-salat. That's one interpretation for yuqimuna as-salat. Another interpretation to it is this. Observing salah at the appointed time. Fi awwala waqtiha. Here at the first time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. This salah that you're seeing has been prescribed upon the believers for a specified time. Okay? So that tells you that, delaying the salah, all right, or being oblivious of the fact that you have to observe your salah, then it's not a sign of what? Of al-muttaqun. In fact, in another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursed them by saying, وَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Then Allah said, الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Those that delay their salah, those that do not pray. The two interpretations goes in. All right, you can say again, الَّذِينَ. Okay, so it's just not enough for you to just say, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Allah has caused those that are praying. So then you cover the other parts of it. You want to misguide people. No, you don't cover it. Because it's an explanation of those kind of people that are praying. Those that are what? They are praying, right? But they delay the salah, or sometimes they don't pray very well. وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. Those that observe their salah, all right, or establish their salah. Then the third interpretation to this, which we can of course bring out from it, is that they establish it. That is, they put all the machineries in place and they observe it in jama'ah, right? So that is why it is imperative in any community. It is imperative of the Muslim the Muslim community of that area to make sure that there's machinery in place for people to observe the salah. Okay, whether it is just demarcating a place and the 5 daily salah will be observed there. It does not have to necessarily mean you have to have the structure and this and this and this and this and this and that. Okay, the AC and everything. No, just demarcate it, even if it is with stone. All right, let it be known that we are praying here. All right, so that is it. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ is another quality. They are those that spend out of what we have given them. Everything out of what? Ma yufidu nakra, yufidu al-umum. Ma, when you say what, whatever, that's the meaning. Whatever it is that we have given them, they spend out of it in the way of Allah, and as well as those that are in need of it. Okay, so this particular verse was revealed before the verse of Surah Zakat, the obligatory charity that is to be given. So if we want to understand this verse outside, in the restrictive sense, outside the context of the zakat, because the ayah of the zakat had not come at that time, okay, we can just say it's sadaqah, right? Sadaqah. Then spending on your family, okay, spending in the way of Allah, all right? Just whatever it is that you can give. There's an establishment of mosque somewhere, you drop your own, people are traveling from one place to another, you help them out and stuff like that. So that's it. But if you want to include it, مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ, they spend out of what has been given to them. So it is inclusive of nafaqah for your family, the sadaqah, the normal charity, and the zakat, as established by Imam Ibn Jarir al-Tabari in his tafsir. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ, they spend limitlessly. They spend in the open and what? The secret. فِي الْبَأْسَاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ, they spend in ease, وَالضَّرَّاء, and in adversity. They spend. No, immeasurably. That is, they spend out of what has been given to them. All right, and what has been given to them is not only restricted to money, right? It's also inclusive of honor, dignity, influence, and knowledge. Give it to people. Spend it to them, or spend it for them rather. Share it, because if you don't share, you won't have more. That's it. All right, you will just be stagnant. If you share some knowledge now, you won't want to repeat the same thing tomorrow. So that's it. It pushes you as well, right? Let me make an emphasis on something. When you check Surah Al-baqarah again, towards the end, you go and read it from verse 261 to 274. That's about 13 verses with which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was eulogizing charity and those that give charity. How you should give charity. Okay, what you should do. What you should give as charity. Not things that have spoiled, or not things that even if your eyes is covered, you are blindfolded. You would not ordinarily want to take it, except that you are blindfolded. Right? So these are some of the ethics that goes with some of these things. That's why we said the Quran is what? It illuminates everything. It explains everything. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continued with some other description of the muttaqun. He said, وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ, and those that believe in what has been revealed upon you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are two implications to this particular word. The first implication is that you believe in the book, they believe in the book, as well as they believe in the bearer of the book, because there is no way you will believe in the book They will not believe in the book except that they have truthful and sincere belief in the bearer of the book. Yeah, okay. That is when you start giving whatever the person says or whatever the person delivers as a message consideration. I hope you understand. That is when you begin to give it consideration, right? So that's why I said there are two implications to this particular word. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ. That is, they believe in the Quran and they believe in what? They believe in you. وَالَّذِينَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِن قَبْلِكَ, and what has been revealed before you. So that tells you that the books or the scriptures that have been revealed before you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the same implication that goes for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with regards to believing in what has been revealed in him or on him, okay, and believe in him in order to believe in what has been revealed on him. All right, the same thing is applicable here. It's not the case that you say you believe in Moses, you believe in the scripture of Moses and you don't believe in Moses. That's not possible. So they believe in what? They believe in Torah. They believe in the Old Testament. They believe in the Injil. They believe in the New Testament, as well as the Zabur, that is the Psalms. The Psalms. Not only that, they believe in the messengers as well. So they believe in Abraham. They believe in Enoch, Idris. They believe in Noah. They believe in Lut. They believe in Uzair, Ezra. They believe in Moses. They believe in Isa, Jesus. They believe in Yusuf, Joseph. They believe in Yunus, Jonah, and some other prophets of Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with all of them and grant us strong iman in them. Now, there's something that I want to point out here, okay, and it has to do with some aspect of the jurisprudence of Islamic law with regards to the fiqh jinayat, the criminal justice system in Islamic law. Why do you think that it is criminalized in Islamic law that if you curse a messenger of God, then it is a capital punishment? This is it. They believe in what has been revealed before you, the books and the messengers as well. Okay, so this is just the jurisprudence, all right, because the fundamental jurisprudential principle in every law, okay, even in the common law, of course, any law worldwide, all over the world, is that whatever it is that is an act or an omission that will lead to the peace and good order of a community or a country being threatened, then such act or omission must be criminalized. So just imagine now we are living in a secular society like that. You have some people, they call themselves Jews, they believe in Jesus, they're Christians. You have some people that believe in Moses, they call themselves Jews, okay? And we are Muslims as well. Now, if jurisprudentially, would it be reasonable if, of course, a Muslim now says Jesus Christ is this and that, okay? Moses is this and that, and you expect a Christian to fold his hands and look and smile at you? That's not possible. The same way we would not have the Prophet ﷺ insulted, jeered, mocked, and abused, right? That is jurisprudential. So that in a society where you have multi-religious, multi-religious society, then of course you have to criminalize it. The same way and manner in which if you abused Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you abused Jesus Christ, Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam, or Moses alayhi salatu wasalam, or Idris alayhi salatu wasalam, or Enoch, or Abraham alayhi salatu wasalam, you will be criminalized. You'll be put to the same test, and you'll be put to the same trial, and you'll be put to the same punishment as someone that abused, mocked, and jeered at Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So that is it. You can see that jurisprudentially, rationally, it makes sense. What about the religious aspect to it? This is the divine revelation. All of these messengers are my messengers. You do not separate. You do not discriminate. Amana Rasul bima unzila ilayhi min rabbihi wal mu'minin bima unzila alayhi min rabbihim wal mu'minun kullun amana billahi wa malaika wa kutubihi la nufarriqu bayna ahadin min rusul wa qalu samina wa ata'na. They say we've heard and we follow. Not that we've heard and we disobey. Samina wa asayna. La. That's not for the believer. Sami'na wa ata'na. We've heard and we believe and we follow. That's it. So Allah said, وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُقِنُونَ, and they believe with certainty. Yaqeen. Now you can see it. This is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going. Of course, I had given you the expo earlier. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ That is all of these things. Okay, in terms of the iman, bil-ghayb, okay, yukimuna salat, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ, they believe in that. وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. Then Allah said, وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. We can see that the articles of it, they are embedded in this particular verse. Okay, that's the summary of the Quran. As much as the Surah Al-Fatiha is a summary of the whole Quran itself. So these opening verses in Surah Al-baqarah, they are also a summary of the articles of it and the pillars of Islam. When you look at it very well, that's another secret. Okay, you can see the privilege of listening to tafsir of Quran in the month of Ramadan. That's why we said that فَيُدَارِسُهُ al-Quran. This is what the Prophet ﷺ does with Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam. Each time Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam comes to him and recites and teaches him the Quran. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. They do not have any doubt. No doubt whatsoever. Let's go back a bit with regards to بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. Okay. The Prophet ﷺ said in an hadith, okay, and I want to call attention of whoever it is, maybe you're a Christian or maybe you're a Jew. So an hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where the Prophet ﷺ said, okay, he said, he was talking about three sets of people. He said, ثَلَاثَةٌ يَأْتُوهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ مَرَّتَيْنِ. There are three sets of people that they will have double rewards. The reward will come to them twice. That is, they will be rewarded twice. One of such persons, he said, رَجُلٌ Iman min Ahl al-Kitab, among the people of the book, that is a Jew or the Christian, Jew or a Christian, or both. آمَنَ بِالنَّبِيِّهِ. He believes in his messenger. Maybe he decides to be a Jew and he believes in Moses. Maybe he decides to be a Christian and he believes in Jesus. Okay. ثُمَّ آمَنَ بِهِ, and then believes in me. All right. So you can see that that particular hadith is an explanation, is an exegesis of this. الَّذِينَ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ. Min qablika, he believed in Jesus. Wa unzila ilayka, he believed in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Min qablika, he believed in Moses. Okay, alayhi salatu wasalam. Wa unzila ilayka, he believed in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said those set of people will have two rewards. So I'm just pushing it out to have you're a Jew or a Christian, you can just give it a consideration. You have double reward. All right. If you're just staying there, you just have one reward. Or if you add Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to your belief system, you have double reward. Allah make it easy for us. Then Allah said, Ulaika ala huda min rabbihim. See where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finished their statement, finished the statement about them. Ulaika, all these, whoever belongs to this category, that's it. Whoever belongs to this category of people, Ulaika ala huda min rabbihim, they are those that are upon the they are those that are upon guidance from their Lord. They are upon guidance from their Lord. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Let me point out certain things here. أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ, on. Ala means on. For those of us that are in madrasa. On. Okay. For instance, I can say, Jalastu ala al-kursi. I'm sitting on the chair. That tells you that I'm sitting comfortably on the chair. Right? أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ. They are also sitting comfortably. Huda. They are sitting comfortably on what? On guidance. That is one. Then, min rabbihim, this particular guidance that they are upon, it is from their Lord. Cast your mind back to the first verse. Allah started this particular ayah of this particular chapter, the opening chapters of Al-Quran in Surah Al-baqarah. He started with Huda and he ended it with Huda. There's a wisdom, there's a hikmah. There's a rationale, there's a reason behind this. We said, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This is a book that there is no discrepancy in it. Hudan, okay. Huda, bimana nur, okay. Bimana bayin. It explains, it amplifies, it guides, okay. It's like a light. It touches, it illuminates the path for them. This is one hidayah, guidance. This is hidayah to dalala, illumination. Dalala, it points you to the way. Wal irshad, okay, guidance. It shows you the way. Wal bayan, and it explains. That's it. The second one, ala huda min rabbihim. This is hidayatu at-tawfiq. This one is special, coming from the Lord of the worlds themselves towards this set of people. So we have two kinds of hidayah in Islam. Hidayah to dalalati wal irshad. The hidayah of explanation. Explain to them. Tell them this is the way of guidance, this is the way of misguidance, this is the way of paradise, this is the way of hell, this is the way of success, this is the way of, being unfortunate and what have you. Okay, fine, that's it. That's what the Quran is doing as well. The Quran explains everything. But the second aspect to hidayah, to guidance, is what? Hidayah to tawfiq wal qabul, to accept and to come in contact with the truth and accept eventually, is from what? Ala huda min rabbihim, from their Lord. So that tells you that the first kind of hidayah is what? Is open and general, while the second one is what? Exclusive. Huwa al-hidayatu lil muttaqin. It is only for those that are what? That are the muttaqun. Those that have all these qualities that we've mentioned earlier. Okay, so these are the two kinds of hidayah, and I would say, for those of us that are calling and they are doing dawah and they are talking to people, pay attention to this. Some of these extremist ideology or some of these by force approach that people take, if you understand this, you will know that it is yours. It's upon yours to do what? To just drop the word, just give it to them. For them to accept or not, it is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ulaika ala hudan min rabbihim. So this heart is like a radio set. Before you get to the station, you'll be tuning and you tune till you get it. That's it. So once you get to the station, that's the guidance, and you'll be enjoying the station. May Allah make it easy for each and every one of us. May Allah guide us to the right path. Wa ulaika, not only that, wa ulaika humul muflihun. These are the set of people that will be successful in this life and in the hereafter. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you and I amongst those that will be successful in this life as well as in the hereafter. نكتفي بهذا. I think this is enough. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. See you in the next video, inshallah.